Jesus calls him to come over and to talk to him, Jesus stopped. And I think in our life, it's a wonderful privilege. If we're a Christian, if we're a child of God, we can stand up to say, I'm saved. Not because of anything that I have accomplished in my life. I'm saved because of the grace of God. I'm thankful that the blood of Christ has cleansed me of my sins. And I'm thankful that I'm in the narrow path that leads to heaven, where there's no more tears, no more sorrow, and no more pain. I'm thankful that God revealed to me that I was in the broad road that was leading to destruction, leading to the flames of hell. But now I'm in the narrow path, all because of the grace of God and the forgiveness of God and the sacrifice of God's Son upon the cross. So we should not be too busy to stop and to tell people about Jesus. And here Jesus stops and he talks to blind Bartimaeus. You wonder how the people round about must have felt. This person, they'd have just walked by, but Jesus stops and talks to him. And you know something? Never think that anyone is beyond the grace of God. Never think that anyone is such a waster that there's no room for God to move in their heart. God can take anyone. God can take a down and out and make them a mighty man of God. God can take an up and out and make them a mighty man of God. There's a story told about this evangelist. He was actually in the congregation. There was another preacher, and they were singing, and the preacher had made an appeal. And as they made the appeal, they were singing the song, "Just as I am, I come." And this evangelist was in the congregation, and they're singing, "Just as I am, I come." And there was this man started to come forward. The minister person had made an appeal. These people were coming forward, and this guy comes forward with long hair, chewing gum, walking down to the front of the church. And this woman sitting in front of him says, "That's terrible. You think you spit out the chewing gum before he came down to the front?" And this preacher who was sitting behind her says, "Excuse me, madam, what are you singing?" And she thought that he never knew the song they're singing. And she says, "Just as I am, I come." And he says, "Well, that's the way he's coming, just the way he is." And you know, that's the way God wants us to come, just the way we are. You don't need to tidy yourself up. You don't need to polish yourself up. Just come the way you are, and then he changes us. And blind Bartimaeus, he came just the way he was. But what happened to him? Well, in verse 50, we read, throwing his cloak aside, he jumped to his feet and came to Jesus. Now remember, here he is, begging at the side of the road. Clothes were very valuable. And what does he do? He throws his cloak aside. He jumps to his feet and came to Jesus. There was no hindrance. There was no problem. He just got up, threw his cloak to the side, jumped up on his feet, and as it were, ran to Jesus. And here he comes to the answer to his situation. Here he comes to the answer to his problem. He throws his cloak to the side. He never allowed anything to hinder him to coming to Christ. He throws his cloak to the side and he jumps to his feet and came to Jesus. And many people today, when you tell them about Jesus, when you tell them about the forgiveness of sins through Christ, they've got many excuses and many reasons not to come. But here is blind Bartimaeus. He never allowed anything to hinder him. Now, what could have hindered him? The people could have hindered him. Blind Bartimaeus, be quiet. Who are you to be shouting at him? Who are you? You're a beggar. Don't get above your station. Sit there and just keep on begging and be quiet. People could have put him off. People could have put him off from coming to Christ. And how many today are put off from coming to Christ because what will people say? What will they think of me? What will they say? What will they think? And they're put off from coming to Christ and getting their sins dealt with and getting peace with God and knowing that their name's written in the Lamb's Book of Life because they're frightened of what people will say. You know, people can laugh you into hell, but they can't laugh you back out. People can hinder you from coming to Christ, but when you stand before God in the day of judgment, they can't do anything for you. Now, the people could have put them off, but not only that, the cloak round about them could have maybe hindered them in getting up. But you get rid of whatever hindered them. How many people today, what hinders them is from what they're holding on to. I remember hearing a story about a man who owned a Rolls Royce. And do you know what he get buried in? He get buried in his Rolls Royce. And they actually dug a hole that he was buried in. That was like his coffin. They buried him in a Rolls Royce. I remember there was a preacher in Northern Ireland who told that story. He get buried in his Rolls Royce. What shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and yet lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange of his soul? How many people today are hindered from coming to Christ because of people, because of things that they're chasing, because of things that's holding them back from finding peace with God through Christ? But blind Bartimaeus never allowed anything to hinder him from coming to Christ. Verse 51 says, Rabbi, I want to see. When he came to Jesus, Jesus says, what do you want me to do for you? Now that seems maybe a silly question. What do you want me to do for you? But it's not a silly question. Because a lot of people, that's how they make their living, by begging. And if you look at the laws in the Old Testament, people could provide for those who were poor. And he made his living through begging. But blind Bartimaeus might have been content in being a beggar. He might have been content in being blind because that's where he made his living. But Jesus says, what do you want me to do for you? And he says, obviously, I want to see. I want to get right. And I wonder this morning, going back to the very beginning, do you realize that you're blind? Do you realize that if you're outside the family of God, you've never put your faith and trust in Christ, you're blind?